Generation 5 is Pokemon at its peak. Not only did they receive direct sequels, but Gen 5's Unova region introduced the highest number of new and original Pokemon out of any Pokemon game, with 156 new Pokemon. And you already know I am the president of the Generation 5 Remix fan club. Like, they couldn't come any sooner. However, some of these Pokemon could definitely use an upgrade, or better yet, some type modifications. Like, how is this thing not a rock type? What? So today we're diving into the Unova region and fixing these 14 Pokemon. Oh, and if you want to see what we did with the Unova starters as well as the other Pokemon starters, then check out this video up here. But let's jump right into it and start with this Pokemon, Musharna, the drowsing Pokemon. And its design is kinda cute, I guess. Mainly because it sleeps like my dog, so I got a soft spot for it. But it's a pure Psychic type, so let's fix that. Let's make it a Psychic Fairy type. I mean, it already learns a ton of fairy type moves, and its dex entry makes it seem like the Sandman of the Pokemon world, so it kinda makes sense. However, this typing doesn't do much for it defensively other than giving it an immunity to dragon types, so there's kind of a competitive edge. Next up is one of my all-time favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, and that's Scolipede. This thing was the first time I saw a bug type Pokemon, and I was like, I need that Pokemon on my team. I was extremely disappointed to find out its final evolution kept the bug poison typing. I mean, I get it, but little Xatu always wanted Scolipede to be a bug dragon type, so let's do that now. Its dex entries make it seem like a very ferocious attacker, and its design is pretty serpentine if you ask me. So yeah, this one is more of a personal one, so don't chew me up too much in the comments for it. But man, would that have been nice. Moving on, I think we could all agree that Darmanitan should have been a part fighting type. I mean, its final level up move is Superpower, and it can learn Hammer Arm and Focus Punch, as well as a few other fighting type moves. And it's a nice contrast with its Zen mode form being part Psychic type. My only guess to why Game Freak didn't do this is 1, because they already have far too many fire fighting types, and 2, it might have been a bit too overpowered. Now it's time to talk about the Pokemon that gets absolutely no love. Like, I genuinely never heard of anyone saying, ooh, Maractus. Now that's my favorite Pokemon. Yet it's such a dope Pokemon. First, it's a cactus Pokemon, and secondly, it's always found in the dry, deserted areas around other really cool Pokemon. So why not make it part ground type? Now just imagine a Maractus, the grass ground type with access to Water Absorb, Chlorophyll, and Storm Drain. This thing would be absolutely nuts. Throw on some ground type moves like Earth Power, and now we're cooking. I guess it's important to note that this type change would technically make it ×4 weak to ice types, but like, so are the real life cactuses, so logic. Next up is another great design of a Pokemon, and that's Cofagrigus. It has one of the coolest abilities little Xatu ever saw in Gen 5, with a ghost possessing a coffin. So why not make it part rock type? Honestly, it's like Game Freak is petrified of giving ghost types the rock type. But don't get me started on that, or else this video would easily become my longest one yet. Instead, this change would give this Pokemon a ton more weaknesses, which doesn't sound too great, right? However, silver lining, from types that typically prefer physical damaging moves over special ones. So, are you picking up what I'm putting down? In reality, Cofagrigus would benefit by inflicting all these Pokemon with its mummy ability, and that's some trolling I can get behind. Garbodor. Now this one is definitely going to separate the viewers. This is probably one of my most polarizing takes yet, and I am honestly quite afraid that this take might even get me cancelled. But with confidence, I think Garbodor should be Poison Dragon type. Now please hear me out. Jeez, always with the pitchforks. It's a garbage monster. That's it. I mean, it's reminiscent of a kaiju. Like, look at its Gigantamax form. It swept up good old Mr. Briny, poor guy. And it kind of gives huge Godzilla vibes. And for some reason alone, I think a part dragon typing would make this guy so much better. Come on, I know you're seeing it now. It's okay, give in. Join the dark side. Okay, this one's pretty obvious, but I already know it's going to set some people off, and that's Gothitelle. Let's make it part dark type. I mean, it's a goth, right?
It's not a phase, Mom.
So it really makes sense. Plus, this change would give it only 2 weaknesses and 1 immunity to other psychic types. And with Gothitelle having access to Shadow Tag, it could really spice up the competitive world. Man, Perish Trap Team stonks are going way up with this one. But if we're changing that Pokemon, we gotta change Reuniclus. And what better typing than part fighting type? Let me know when you see it. But it's not just because it never skips arm day. No. Its Dex entries literally talks about how it crushes boulders with its hands, so kinda fits. This change would also mean it and its version exclusive counterpart, Goth Girl, would have neutral damaging moves against each other, and well, that's balance. Okay, it's safe to come back, guys. I think we can all relax now for a bit and come to an agreement that Alola Malola, wait, did I finally say that right? Should be a water fairy type. I mean, if we really want to start throwing jabs here, it totally should have been a Love Disc Evo. But like, at least get the typing right, Game Freak. It's a literal heart and it's classified as the caring Pokemon. Oh, and it also learns Play Rough and Misty Terrain. So there's no excuse for this one. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Okay, stop relaxing. Time for another hot take. Hear me out. Electros should be electric dragon type. And no, this isn't a buff. This one is actually a nerf. You see, Electros is a pure electric type with the ability Levitate. I want to know who is in charge of designing this character. I just want to talk. I just want to talk to them. But giving it no weaknesses and giving it a massive offensive stat? Nope, straight to jail. So my suggestion of giving it part dragon type would actually fix this and give it a few weaknesses, because sometimes it's better to drink the weak tea of a friend than the sweet wine of an enemy.
What?
Now we're on the alien Pokemon known as Beheeyem. That kind of looks like one of those stone relics on that TV show Ancient Aliens or something. So for that reason, and that reason alone, it really should have been a part rock type. Not only that, it also learns the move Meteor Beam, Rock Slide, and a few more rock type moves. So it's not that much of a huge stretch. Honestly, might have even made it a bit more popular, who knows? All I know is I'm hoping it gets the King Gambit treatment and comes back in Gen 10 with a brand new UFO Evo. Now that would be sick. Okay, now we gotta talk about one of the best Pokemon designs in all of Unova, and that's Beartic. This thing literally made Ice-type Pokemon cool again. No pun intended. And that's before they actually mattered. Man, poor Ice types. But our good old boy Beartic could have definitely benefited from rocking the fighting type. I mean, again, this Pokemon's final learnable move is Superpower, and it can learn 7 other fighting type moves. So, I mean, it just kind of makes sense. It would also get a few resistances added to this typing, and honestly, I think it would make just one of the best Ice-type Pokemon that much better. Blood Moon ain't got nothing on us. Next up is Excelgor, the weird branched evolution of the regional version exclusive bug types. But while Escavalier got the steel typing, our boy Excelgor got nothing, zilch, nada. So instead, let's turn this cool ninja looking Pokemon into a part ghost type. And while we're at it, let's give it some solid moves like Shadow Ball. With its speed and this new typing, this Pokemon could easily become 10 times more menacing than Gen 1's Gengar. Alright, we made it. Last but not least, Mienshao, the pure fighting type. But you know what it should have been?
Don't say dragon.
I mean, when you really look at this design, there's only one right answer.
Don't say dragon, don't say dragon, don't say dragon.
And that's part dragon type.
What the? All this guy does is give Pokemon the dragon type. Like, what are you, 7?
Well, no, that's not entirely true. Mienshao should have been part dragon type because of a few reasons. 1, its shape and body resemble that of a serpent that would probably also know martial arts. And 2, it's found in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 at the Dragon Spiral Tower. Wonder why that is. Oh, and 3, because dragons are cool. Thanks for watching. Check out this video next and see you soon. Bye.